Good afternoon. My name's CJ Lafferty. This is my farm, Skyline Pastures. I'd like to welcome Pennsylvania Secretary of Agriculture, Mr. Redding. Next to him is Mimi Thomas Brooker, the founder of Pennsylvania Veteran Farming Network. That's right. And then to my left, I have General Weigl and PA State Representative Jamie Barton. We're here to discuss I'm the recipient of a $5,000 grant to install water line and frost-proof hydrants and a drinking post to distribute water throughout my farm. And I've been in the Army for 25 years. I'm Pennsylvania Guardsman. I'm AGR currently. I work at Fort Uniontown Gap. And the whole time, or at least for the last decade or so, I've had an interest in agriculture and wanted to find ways to incorporate that into my life while still working full-time for the military, and then hopefully have it be a transitional period out of the Army and into full-time farming. So I've made some significant progress in that direction. This last year we had our best year yet, largely due to this grant. As far as profitability, we raise beef cattle, forest-raised pork, and then pastured broilers, 2 batches of those a year, and we do Thanksgiving turkeys. And eventually I would like to lease additional acreage and increase the pork and beef side significantly. I think then it would be a full-time concern, but right now it is a very profitable venture, and I can continue to do that while I'm still in the Army. So again, the grant was it was through the Veteran Farming Network, and it was to establish time-saving and money-saving tools here on the farm, which was water lines and the frost-proof hydrants. We used to carry buckets and drag hoses, and that was unpleasant at best. So we've increased productivity, profitability. Things here are much more effective and efficient, and I intend to continue increasing that efficiency until I can leave the Army. So I would like to introduce Secretary Redding, who will follow me. Thank you.
CJ, thank you, and Tanya, thank you for hosting us today, but also just a note of thanks to CJ for his service and military service. Thank you. Very much appreciate the work you do, the work you're doing right now in agriculture, and just every day I get a chance to sort of be with a farmer generally, but also a veteran farmer who's made a transition to doing both the work of agriculture and finding the passion here, but at the same time serving in the military. Very much appreciated, always humbled by that, so thank you. To General Weigl, good to be with you again. We've got this habit several times a year of getting on a farm where some creatures, four-legged creatures running around us, so we'll do it again this year. Representative Barton, thank you always for your support of the work that we do in the Department of Ag. I want to say thank you to Mimi Thomas Booker, who's just been a great advocate for veterans, sort of helped us in the department focus what it is that we need to do to support the veterans in agriculture and that whole community across Pennsylvania. And today is further testament of that advocacy and the vision that she has had and continues to share with us, and is instrumental to not just what we've done, but how we do it. And she will talk more about that. And we're also pleased always to have the Veterans Affairs in the community here in the county of Berks. Ed Jankowski is with us, and thank you for being with us, Edwin, today. As we were walking the pastures, all of us have felt this sort of sense of pride that CJ and Tanya have expressed. I mean, not just in what they're doing, but in terms of the stewardship, but the work they're doing, the pride they have in producing their own food. What they have heard is the sort of affirmation of that from customers who are buying what they're producing here, I think, is part of that story. It's not simply about production. You want to know that what you're doing is the right thing, and people appreciate what it is that they're doing. We heard that very clearly. We heard the journey in agriculture, and we came away, again, sort of appreciative of folks who want to be in this business of feeding others, but also in the business of stepping into ag. It's not an easy place to make a living or to work, and they do it. And they've demonstrated today that that is possible, and that dedication to helping both their community, but also helping other veterans make the transition and sharing their knowledge. We heard that very, very clearly. So thank you, CJ, for that as well. Partly, as CJ noted, we are here to look very specifically at a project. And that is a project that 2 years ago did not exist. The funding, the structure did not exist. And when I talk about Mimi and the advocacy, part of that was we need to step up as a Department of Ag and recognize that we have veterans who have made the transition or in the process of making a transition to ag, and how do we support them? And to Representative Burton's work in the legislature and the governor, and I just say it every day that we are so grateful to have a farm bill that provided Pennsylvania and Pennsylvania agriculture a program that allows, in this case, to invest in veteran farmers, right? This is the veteran farming grants, and we a year ago reached out and found two sort of grantees. One was Mimi and her work here with the PA Veteran Farming Project, and one in the western part of the state with the Butler Community Action. And each of them received a $100,000 grant that they do sub-grants. So this is a sub-grant, what you're seeing today. But as we were listening to the project descriptions of each of the, I think now 17 or 18 projects, they're all like this. They're all pieces that made a difference for the operation, right? They're labor savings, their sustainability efforts, they're making them more efficient, they're doing business planning, they're helping to do something inside each one of these operations that maybe it would have happened in time, but it certainly wouldn't have happened in the last year. And that's the benefit of the grant. So we did that last year with $200,000. Today we're announcing another $200,000, direct result of the PA Farm Bill in Pennsylvania. And we're going to put out the call beginning today for organizations to apply that are veteran focused, agriculturally focused, who would do the sub-granting as it's worked so well in the last year. So that is the key for today. We want to keep the momentum. We have a lot of projects that are yet to be done. We've got a lot of veterans who are making the transition to ag who need our help. We are pleased to, in the Department of Ag, for the first time in our history, is to actually make a direct investment in the veteran community and those in agriculture. We say it every day that we are grateful for those who serve. We're grateful for those who are in ag. We have 2% of our population in this nation that feed us, and there's another 2% of our population that allow us to sleep well, and that's 4% of our nation who has a tremendous amount of responsibility. So they are natural partners. There is a joint mission here to make sure that we're successful, but we're also at peace. So we are pleased and very proud to have this program and the effort and the partners that we have found across Pennsylvania. Today we're with CJ and Tanya. We heard a similar story at Rodale this summer with Ramon, who told the story of his own transition and the work of helping him personally just sort of think about his role in life, but also he always had this calling for agriculture. We heard that very clearly from Ramon Madrid. We saw it in our own staff within the Department of Agriculture in Norfolk Southern Train Derailment. Walt Remmert, who was an Army veteran, works for the department. Amazing skill transfer to that disaster site. And we saw it again last fall on several tours with Mimi at Forever Heart Farm and Heritage Farms across Pennsylvania. I share that to say that part of this journey is both the discovery of the veteran community and their contributions to agriculture. We also know that inside ag, for the veterans, it's both therapeutic. There's an opportunity as a livelihood, and on top of that, contributing to both their family and community and food. But it's also, from the public sector, the public standpoint, the right thing to do. Right? We are always grateful, particularly here in this Veterans Day season, for those who have served. What better way to show and demonstrate our support than to make an investment in them, just as they've invested in us. So today we say thank you to them. We appreciate very much the work that they do. We do this in full partnership with General Weigl and the Department of Military and Veterans Affairs. We do it in full partnership with the legislature. Everything we do is in some way connected back to either through policy, the regulations, the funding, the program, the vision with our legislature. So we want to say thank you very much for the work that they do. So with that, I appreciate all being here, and thank you again to CJ and Tanya for hosting, and I'll ask Mimi to share a few words. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I want to thank CJ and Tanya for hosting us, and for Secretary Redding and General Weigl for joining us today. The Pennsylvania Veteran Farm Network is the nonprofit grassroots organization for veterans, military, and their spouses who farm. And CJ is a bit modest. He didn't mention that he has just joined our board. He's a mentor, he's an innovator, and he represents the veterans across Pennsylvania in our network who are doing the same thing. They all have a story to tell, and they're always interesting stories, and how they got into agriculture is rarely a straight path, but as we've seen here today, it can be successful. We're so appreciative of the partnership with the Pennsylvania Department of Ag and the Pennsylvania Department of Military and Veteran Affairs for their support of veterans and military who farm, and especially happy to hear that the grant will be refunded today, and we will be applying, putting that together very quickly, and hoping that we have the opportunity to again serve the veterans throughout Pennsylvania by supporting their projects. We did fund 11 projects. The smallest one was about $4,000. Most of them went up to about $10,000 in the last round. Everything from humane squeeze chutes to beehives and everything in between, livestock watering systems. So as the Secretary mentioned, these are projects that are making a tangible difference, and we thank the legislature for that, because it's making farms more efficient and more profitable. And as we approach Marine Corps Birthday on Friday and Veterans Day on Saturday, we want to thank all of those who have served and who now serve their communities by feeding them, and look forward to including more and more veterans in our organization. A couple of programs we have coming up. We'll be doing a new business planning cohort that we just sent that notification out. And for veterans interested in getting involved, please mark your calendar for February 2nd. We'll be convening in Harrisburg for our annual conference, which will be a day-long opportunity to meet other veterans in farming, hear from service providers, extension, NCAT, a variety of presentations to help them make their farms more successful. So thank you very much, and I'd like to bring Representative Jamie Barton up to the podium.
Well, thank you, Mimi, and my goodness, thanks CJ and Tanya so much for inviting us out here today. And anytime we have the opportunity to combine state government and federal government and working together and showing a partnership there, it's a good day, isn't it? And Secretary Redding, that was a great point you made about 2% of our people of our population that protect us and allow us to sleep safely at night, and 2% that allow us to feed us. And I think for the other 96%, there's a stereotype of what we believe a soldier is and what we believe a veteran is, and a stereotype of what we believe a farmer is. And we talked to CJ and asked him 10 years ago, did you think you'd be a farmer? And he said no, but he's a farmer now. And I think also when you take a look at the contribution that we receive from our veterans, and let's go back to that stereotype. And when we think of people protecting, people that are strong, people that have a strong character, a resilience, problem solving. These are the characters of our character traits of our veterans, of our service people. We take a look at farmers, there's a lot of the same, isn't it? I think when you talk to CJ, he'll tell you about how he ran electric with the help of this grant. Operated equipment, used skills he learned in the military. But he also used some other skills. When some piglets got away, he used marshmallows. I don't think they taught you that in the military. And we're not sure if Tanya actually used the marshmallows or not. The point is, it's fantastic to see this. It's fantastic to see our federal government, our state government coming together, working together for our number one industry here in the Commonwealth, which is agriculture. The number one industry, and supporting it and listening to, with a smiling face, Tanya and CJ talk about their life here, their life in agriculture, and their life of contributing to the food source and the people that have gotten back to them and said how it's the best pork, the best beef and chicken that they've eaten. So, and we've also been blessed with Jasper and Gronk here, the scaredy cat donkey and the potbelly pig. So there's a lot of blessings here, but none more than seeing government work correctly, work good, and continue to be a contribution. So thank you all for helping make this happen. It's my honor now to introduce Brigadier General Maureen Weigl of the PA Department of Military and Veteran Affairs.
Good afternoon, everybody. It is my honor to be here. With Veterans Day right around the corner, just on Saturday, I think it's only fitting that we stop and pause and think of veterans, and what better place to do it than right here with CJ and Tanya talking about veterans in agriculture. I'll tell you, as a transitioning service member, the two scariest days of a military service member's life is the day they raise their right hand to support and defend the Constitution, and they arrive at their first duty station or boot camp and they say, "What did I just do?" And the second scariest day is when they leave that military installation. They take off their boots and they try to figure out what plan B is and where they're going to go. And they say, "What did I just do?" And I'll tell you, the Department of Defense has recognized this and really put a lot of effort to helping transitioning service members, whether you're a reserve component, National Guard service member like CJ, or if you're an active duty service member looking to go back to your home of record, Pennsylvania, Texas, whatever state that is. And they've done a great job in education, helping folks use their GI Bill to go back to school, teaching people how to become wonderful employees for big corporate America. But most recently, they've really focused on entrepreneurship. And so there's a lot of programs like Boots to Business and VWise to help people learn how to start their own business, which is the first hurdle, the first step. But what's missing for many of those service members to give them the confidence is a network of care. So I'm truly thankful for PA Veterans Farming Network that they've recognized that gap in care to make veterans be successful when they're going to start their own business, whether it's agriculture, farming, or other businesses. And they've taken the lead. Secretary Redding has been very instrumental in supporting veteran initiatives and veteran farmers. And I'm so thankful for the Farm Bill that the legislators passed so that we can do this. If you heard Mimi talk, there's going to be mentorship programs, marketing programs. It doesn't stop. CJ is going to become a mentor. For he, it's natural because he's a warrant officer in the National Guard. But that's something that is going to help every veteran be successful if they work and join this network. So I am truly thankful. I'm excited to be here to talk about this because people ask me all the time, what is the biggest thing veterans need? And it's awareness. Knowing that all these great resources are right here in the Commonwealth in Pennsylvania. So Secretary Redding, thank you so much for your time. Mimi, Representative Bartman, and of course to CJ and Tanya, thank you for being a great role model, a wonderful service family that we're going to recognize for Veterans Day, and also a great host. So thank you.
General, thank you. You said it well. I mean, just sort of a good reminder of, putting this in context. This is about the service to service members and those in transition. It is good to know that part of that transition for CJ and others across the state increasingly is agriculture. As we were doing the tour, CJ used this term about atypical situations, right? And I wrote it down because I'm thinking, I think you were making a reference to a water line. That's pretty applicable to life, actually. But those atypical situations, all of those skills of, being nimble, right, being quick, being focused, doing what you need to do to get the mission done. They're all atypical situations, and you've transferred that well to agriculture. But many like them across Pennsylvania. So we are so proud to be one of the states with the largest populations of veterans in the nation. I think we're number 4. But on top of that, just to have amazing resources, as the General noted, for the veteran community. And then to have in the consideration mix agriculture for those who see this as part of that journey. And whether that is the full-time enterprise that is their next piece of life's work, or they work it in, as CJ and Tanya are, as part of their contribution, but also long-term benefit of what they want to do with their property and part of the food system. We are grateful. So we are anxious to get the grant opened up so we can select the applicants. And again, those applicants would be the entities that would do the mini grants, just as we did this past year. That model has worked tremendously well. It's efficient. And importantly, it ties it into other services, into this network that we noted today. It's not standalone. It's not done by the department. We're going to vest that with people who know the other needs of those servicemen and women. So as we close here, we are reminded always that just as the foundation of a civil society is the ability to feed yourself, the equal and co-equal to that is the foundation of a peaceful society. And we bring those together on this Memorial and Veterans Day reminders to all of us that we're grateful to have what we have, that is made possible by a relative few in our society that allows the other 96% to pursue their other interests and do what they want to do, right? That is what this is about. So we're pleased to be part of it. We thank, again, all our veterans in Pennsylvania, and particularly to Mimi and team who've made this work and helped us focus the right place, and also to say thank you to the General and Representative Burton as well. So with that, entertain any questions. Yes, sir.
Do you have a count on how many veteran farmers there are statewide?
I have a number. I use about 7,000.
I would say between 700 and 7,500.
Yeah.
Individuals?
Yes.
Yep.
Between 7 and 7,500.
Thank you.
Other questions, comments? Okay. Thank you all. Okay. Thank you.
I stumbled a little there earlier.